So this week, we've been hearing about all of the new Team Affinity cards for MLB The Show 22. These series of cards are called the Faces of the Franchise. Yes, these cards are returning from last year, and now we're seeing a bunch of really cool 90 overall cards off the launch of the game. So what we're going to do today is go through all 15 that have been revealed so far. Right now, I actually don't know every single one of them because it is 1:30 EST here. But by the time this is posted, I'll have my explanations and thoughts on the cards that have been released. And we're going to go through all of them we've seen so far, kind of predict and try to understand how we'll be getting them when MLB The Show 22 drops, and maybe get a good idea of who we're going to want to get first, and maybe who we'll probably want to wait a little bit longer to get. We have a lot to cover here for this video, so sit down, get comfortable. Let's get into it. Before I do hop on into the tips, I do want to say thank you for all watching. In case you are brand new, if not hit that sub button, make sure you do. On Friday when the game drops, I'll be double uploading, triple uploading most days to give you all the tips and feedback to help you all get better at the game. So whether it's your first go around for MLB The Show, or you just want some guidance for Diamond Dynasty, we're going to cover every single aspect of the game here on the channel. But now, let's just hop into it. Let's go through all the Team Affinity Season 1 cards that we've seen so far and how we may be going about getting them. So first of all, these are going to be split into divisions. It seems like this year in MLB The Show 21, there were separation in each division. So you had the AL East, AL Central, AL West, and so on. And I would like to assume they are bunched in a similar way this year. Also, a big part of this is the change in how we'll be getting these cards in Team Affinity. Now, the basic Team Affinity programs where you have a whole separate set of missions and showdowns and such that you can grind, that's gonna be no longer. It's a time-limited thing. This was explained in a little video that was dropped the other day on Twitter, and some people had some confusion from what it seems. And from what we know, they are time limited, like how inning programs work, where they're only available for X amount of time, and you earn them by playing different modes in the game and getting XP and getting packs gradually, I would guess, kind of like you would in an inning program. You have X amount of time to get these cards, however many you can get. They may not be limited directly right after that, but there's a lot of details not explained yet, which I assume we'll end up finding out on Thursday. And though some people are worried, I have a feeling that they'll make it work and find some way to give these cards a route to be obtainable still. You have to remember the cards like the inning boss such are definitely obtainable if you play the game enough. I think they're trying to just help with giving us options and how to get them, rather than sitting down and just grinding Team Affinity on its own. But now let's go through the cards that have been revealed so far and see who we actually have in store for each division. So here is the AL East. So you see a good mix of names. You have Rafael Devers, Aroldis Chapman, Wander Franco, Cedric Mullins, and Alek Manoah. We do have some attributes on Devers and Manoah. And looking at Devers here, card looks very good for an early game card. That defense is definitely horrid at third base, but the arm is there. He's going to be very solid versus righties with the 89, 106 contact and power. And versus lefties, he has the 85, 65. So not as good, but that is definitely very respectable at the start of the game. We don't 100% know if they have live series quirks based off this, but that could be something that values Devers up. Also, he is going to be good versus righties, which you are going to likely face a lot of at the very beginning of the game, and a lot of people like the 99, 98 Devers cards that we had in MLB The Show 21. So I could see this being a top tier third base option near the start of the game. And then for Alek Manoah, he actually seems very interesting. Reminds me of that pitch mix like the Nolan Ryan type, but now he has a slider in comparison to Nolan Ryan. He also isn't going to be throwing with outlier like Nolan Ryan does, but 99 hits per 9 at the start of the game is going to be very solid. Just that control, you know, pretty middle of the road. The Ks per 9, pretty middle of the road. It really is going to depend on how much break he has on the individual pitches, but if these pitches play anything like they did in MLB The Show 21 with the sinker, slider, circle change, he's going to be a very solid, respectable pitcher at the very least. At the beginning of the game, now a free-to-earn starting pitcher. Can't really complain about that at all. Also, Manoah is definitely a very big fella. If any of you, by the way, used Manoah's top snail card from MLB The Show 21, let me know in the comments how you did with him, because I didn't touch him at all. and I have no idea how to feel about him. But just in terms of the AL East, I mean, Wander Franco is going to be a very solid shortstop. Cedric Mullins is just glitchy. Like, that 98 Mullins last year was nuts. I really wish we had a 99. And then Chapman, a dominant left-handed reliever at the start of the game. Whether he has outlier or not, I'm not sure what's going to happen because last year he didn't have outlier to start the year. Maybe there's a shot this card doesn't have it. But nonetheless, I like this division a lot. A very well-rounded division. We'll see how the other divisions in the NL especially pan out in comparison to this, because I'm not sure if the other divisions are as well-rounded as this one. Now we move to the AL Central. First of all, there are some absolute boppers here. Byron Buxton getting a 90 overall to start. Luis Robert getting a 90 overall to start. Those two are going to be some really legit center fielders. Andrew Benintendi, not sure how I feel about him. Casey Mize could be a very top tier starter with his pitch mix. And then Emmanuel Clase, likely being another top tier relief pitcher like Aroldis Chapman. And yes, we do have attributes on Clase and Benintendi so far. Here are Clase's attributes, which 106 hits per 9 is pretty good for a reliever to start the game. They usually have higher hits per 9. I'm really impressed in the 92 control. That Ks per 9 seems oddly low for someone like him, but still, like, he's gonna have an effective pitch mix, that cutter, slider, four seam. I don't think he's gonna be like OP unless you really can't hit outlier. This was an issue with his 99 overall this last year. Like, he could be pretty solid, but you know, the outlier cutter in this game doesn't seem to play as well as it could. At least now will be the show 21 that was. But if you are someone that struggles with outlier, you might have to be scared of Clase, just like Chapman. And here is Andrew Benintendi, and honestly, he does not look too bad. He's got all the outfield positions, silver defense. I just don't really know what he excels in. This seems like a card that got boosted a little bit because of 110 clutch. I mean, at least he's well-rounded. He might be a little glitchy, but I would personally put this card a little bit on the lower tier. Like, I'd rather go for Cedric Mullins very likely as a left field option, despite him not having it as a primary. Also, the fact you have Luis Robert and Byron Buxton in this division, that is two really good outfielders you could choose just from that. And going back to the entire division, I mean, I would pick for Buxton and Robert and probably Mize first. But again, it's a well-rounded division, but you have three outfielders. So this one might be a little bit different, especially with the lack of infielders. And I'm not really sure how I feel about it overall, but I like the names. And I think the players in here could be very nice at the start of the game, especially that Byron Buxton. If you remember that monthly award Buxton, he was filthy. And now we have the AL West. This is the one that's going to be revealed today. I want to put this video out today, so I unfortunately, as of right now, don't know who the Angels one is and who the Rangers one is. But based on the ones we have now, we have an outfielder, Mitch Haniger, another outfielder, Kyle Tucker, and then a catcher, Sean Murphy, which Murphy I might be excited about. He might be one of the main only catcher options of this bunch. And I've heard good things on his card from this year, but again, he didn't get anything boosted, I don't think. Kyle Tucker, unreal, is a 99 overall to end last year, and it's gonna be very dope to have him as an early game outfielder. Big thing is he's a lefty batter, which a lot of the other outfielders we mentioned aren't lefties. He should have very solid defense, and a lot of people like his swing. Mitch Haniger, I think, will have some pop. I think he'll be a little bit lower on the list just because his defense might not be great, and there might be some other bigger names like the Buxton, Robert types that people want to use. But he should be a very respectable, solid outfielder, and I would guess at least really good bench bat. Now, I'm just going to cut to Future Scan in a couple hours here to see what exactly he knows about the game and what these last two cards are, because as of right now, I don't. Let's cut up to him. Future Scan is here, and there's a reason I'm wearing this jersey, because the Angels card is Mike Trout. Mike Trout is getting a 90 overall to start the game. I don't even need to go into the details of these attributes to know how good this card is going to be. Always one of the most popular swings in the game. I know his stance is different, but the fact we're going to have a Mike Trout, he's going to be probably the most wanted of this bunch. And even though this division is Kyle Tucker, Sean Murphy, I think this is nuts, and I'm absolutely thrown off by this because I don't think this is expected at all. And then for the Rangers, we found out it is Corey Seager. And again, Corey Seager is another nasty card. Like, every boosted card of his is a great one, and he's gonna be a very good shortstop option. However, we do have Wander Franco in that AL East. You know, if you pair Wander at short and then throw Seager at second, because Seager's gonna be a little slower, doesn't have a great arm, and not as good defensive attributes as someone like Wander likely will. So I feel like what we're gonna want to do is play Seager at second or maybe third, and then keep a Wander at short. Even though Seager is gonna be a very good early game card, again, lefty bat, very good versus those righties. And there is one more card that was revealed, which we all know of if you've been keeping track. Ronald Acuna was the first one revealed. We don't know what his attributes are gonna be, but I assume they're gonna be nuts. He's gonna be another big popular option from that NL East. That's because of the namesake. And the vibe I'm getting from the AL and that one player in the NL is that the outfields in these early games are gonna likely be very stacked. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit that thumbs up if you did. I'm gonna be covering the NL once we find out the rest of the NL cards. Maybe it'll be that day before the game drops, maybe not. But I'm gonna try to cover it as soon as we find out, so we can discuss what these cards might look like and who you want to keep your eyes out on. And I will do a tier list on all 30 of these cards when the game drops, and you can actually get a hand on them and see their attributes. So I could actually help you when the game drops, choose you which ones you want to go for first. At the end of the day, that's what we all care about. We want to know who we want to add to our teams first, who we want to try first, and see who is the best for us. But I hope you all enjoyed. I appreciate you all. Again, a lot of MLB The Show videos are in store this week, so big stuff inbound for here with the faces of the franchise, but also just all the content on the channel. So make sure you're subbed to keep up with all of that. But I appreciate you all watching, and I'll see you all again on another video tomorrow. Deuces.